The October 5th, 2022 meeting of the Ames Planning and Zoning Commission will come to order. The Planning and Zoning Commission is an independent advisory body of the City of Ames City Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission members are volunteers of the community and not part of the city administration. The Planning and Zoning Commission is supported by staff from the city's planning division. The commission is responsible for recommendations on matters involving subdivisions, annexations, master plans, and major site development plans, amendments to the zoning ordinance, and comprehensive plan amendments. We make our recommendations based on city codes, the facts presented, and input from the public. As an advisory commission, we welcome all comments regarding the proposed item. Please direct your input to the commission. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that comments be focused on new information not previously presented. You may speak only one time on an agenda item. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker information card and present it to the recording secretary right back here with our hand up. Those cards are either here on the podium or they were outside in the hallway where you signed in. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker information card and present it to the recording secretary. We ask that you come to a microphone to speak so that all comments may be recorded. The order of the proceeding for each item of the agenda will be as follows. City staff will present the staff report regarding the agenda item. Then commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of city staff. The applicant will be invited to make a statement regarding the request. And commission members will then have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant. Members of the audience will then be invited to come forward and offer comments and questions. Once public comment is closed, city staff and the applicant will have an opportunity for concluding remarks. The commission will discuss the application based on all presentations and any comments given and come to a recommendation for city council. The discussion may include further questions of city staff and the applicant for clarification. With that, we'll move on to the first agenda item, which is introduction of commission members.
Jim Blickensdorf.
John Emery.
Mike Clayton.
Mike Sullivan.
Julie Winter.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the agenda. We've been asked to move item 7 since the notices went out, but the applicant is not ready to move forward with a public hearing yet. So we've been asked to move that item number 7, the public hearing for the rezoning with the master plan there at George Washington Carver Avenue and Cameron School Road, move that up ahead of item number 6. And with that, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Do we have to move to?
Or
I move to move agenda item 7 ahead of 6.
oh, okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Okay. Now, is there anybody who would like to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Approval of the minutes of September 21st, 2022. Is there any discussion amongst the commission members? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. And the next item on the agenda is the public forum. And the public forum is for items that are not on the agenda. If you have an item or something you would like to speak of to the commission that's not on the agenda, now would be the time to come forward. Seeing none, I will close the public forum period. Okay, we're just going to hop over to item 6 and go to number 7, the public hearing for the rezone with master plan for property generally located at the southwest corner of George Washington Carver Avenue and Cameron School Road, the bluffs at Dank Bar Farm.
Yes, this item, as you mentioned, we did notice this last week. We're still reviewing some information with the applicant, so we recommend that you open the public hearing, but continue it until the next meeting, which would be the 19th of October, for actual review of the item.
Okay, the public hearing is then open. Or did you want to talk about anything else
I
first?
have nothing else to.
Okay. So do we want to have people, since they're here, to come up and speak, or do you want to
If
just
somebody-
wait until the next time?
They would only get to speak once, so that if they're here for that item and you want to take comment, you can, but they would
Okay.
not be able to speak at the next meeting.
Okay.
So I think it's optional.
Okay. Is there anybody that would like to speak on this item tonight, or would you prefer to wait till next time? Sir?
Couldn't hear him, what he said.
We're talking about the rezoning on Cameron School Road. If you're here, is anybody here for that item, number 6? So
7,
Right.
So Cameron School Road, item number 6. Is anybody here for that item?
that's item number 7.
Okay.
Sorry, it got moved up in front of 6. So is anybody here for Cameron School Road? No. Yes?
Okay.
So if you want to speak tonight, you can. Otherwise, we'll be holding the public hearing with the applicant present on the 19th, when there's a staff report available reviewing the actual master plan.
So is there anybody that would like to speak tonight, or would you prefer to wait until October 19th in 2 weeks?
Or would you need some clarification on that?
I can speak on the 19th, can I? I just can't
Yes.
speak twice tonight, correct?
Are you here for Cameron School Road?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
So you can speak either tonight or on the 19th.
Correct.
You can only speak once out of those 2 meetings. So if you'd like to speak tonight, you may. The 19th, they'll present more of the information. So it's up to you.
No.
Okay. Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to speak tonight only on this item? Okay. Is there a motion to delay the public hearing for this item until October 19th?
I think we're leaving it open.
Public hearing will stay open.
Public hearing will
and
stay open.
Continue
until
the
then.
item then to the 19th.
Yes.
So do we have no further action then?
You need to have a motion to continue it to a date specific. time.
Yes. Is there anybody who would like to move that we continue the public hearing until the meeting on the October 19th?
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing until the meeting on Wednesday, October 19th at 7 p.m.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the public hearing for the rezoning of properties located at 3700 to 5898 East Lincoln Way, 799 Teller Avenue, and 220 and 420 South Teller Avenue.
All right, thank you very much. The city has received an application from Iowa Land and Building Company to rezone just a little over 609 acres. The properties that you see shaded there on the screen are proposed for rezoning. The current rezoning status, or the current zoning status, I'm sorry, is an agricultural zoning, as you see there in green. And the properties that are shaded are proposed to be rezoned to the darker shade there, which is the intensive industrial zoning. So I'll give just a little bit of background. This particular area of the community was annexed into the city in 2016. And at that time, the intention of annexing this area in was to provide land for business and industrial development. This area is commonly referred to as the Prairie View Industrial Center. The parcels that are involved are all owned by the Iowa Land and Building Company. There are 17 of them total, and they range from anywhere from around 30 acres to 47 acres in size. There is one smaller parcel, I'll go back up here, that's just over 3 acres right there where my cursor is. that has a couple outbuildings and a home that's empty on it right now. The vast majority of the other land is undeveloped, so it's farmed, row cropped. And as you can see, a lot of these are sections of land that have existed out here for some time. So in the Ames 2040 comprehensive plan, as we discussed in the report, the property out here contains the employment use category or designation, and that category is designed to support zoning such as II, which is intensive industrial. I'll go real quick and discuss the infrastructure situation out here. So in these particular areas, there's kind of two main roads that bisect through here right now. They're East Lincoln Way, which goes east to west there, and then Teller Avenue, which goes north to south, crosses Lincoln Way, about middle way through the East Industrial area here. The city has installed the first phase of water and sanitary sewer main in this area. It comes from right here around Barilla to the east out here to Teller Avenue. And then it goes just slightly south on Teller here down to that small blue box that you see right there. That is where there's a new lift station being constructed by the city. There is a future second phase of water and sewer that will be installed here along East Lincoln Way, the rest of the way out to the east city limits. That has been bid and started, but that is not complete yet. The properties that are in this application can be served by the water and sanitary sewer main that has been installed to the lift station. So I want to discuss too, just briefly, the transportation pedestrian facility situation. So as this area develops in the future, the anticipation out here obviously is that as there's more development, there will be more transportation infrastructure. We did note that East Lincoln Way currently has a bike lane on it, incorporated in with the paved road right now. It's a paved shoulder. As the area develops and improvements are made to Lincoln Way, those facilities, those pedestrian facilities and bike facilities will be maintained and upgraded as needed as the nature of the road changes. Also, there is a future project slated on Teller Avenue up at the Union Pacific Railroad line to separate the grades. So that involves putting in a bridge to eliminate the at-grade crossing. And that will come in the future as funding and circumstances out here necessitate. The city of Ames has entered into a water service buyout agreement with Iowa Regional Utilities Association. They were formerly known as Central Iowa Water Association. And that occurred prior to the annexation of these properties in 2016. Electric service out here is provided by Alliant Energy. We also do note in there that there's a small amount of floodway that's located out here. And I think probably the best way to show you that, I'll just pull it up here real quick on this screen. It's in this wooded area. These two properties here are owned by Iowa Land and Building. They're included in the rezone. And that floodway just follows this blue shaded area here. And then a small piece on the corner of this property, which is also included right there. So it is floodplain. It is considered floodway. This area out here obviously is not very large or very wide, but it is identified as green space in our comprehensive plan. And so as the properties are developed, they would have to be developed with that in mind. So at this point, that really concludes all that I have to say. I can take any questions that you might have right now.
I guess just while we're fresh on the topic of the floodplain, it looks like that is just sort of the far western parcel that we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's right there.
So this one here, the corner of it, and then there's two parcels actually right here that have a small amount that
Okay.
run through them on the west side. This is owned separately. This is not in the rezoning.
Okay. So I'm guessing separate from zoning, but any building permits that would be issued here would be required to fill those that area would not be able to be developed, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. This has what's called a general floodplain designation on it.
Okay.
And it's pretty small, but general floodplain is automatically considered floodway. So floodway is very restrictive as far as any sort of development. There can be no rise or obstruction created in it.
Is there any consideration to the 500-year or anything else that it has to be built out beyond?
So our Chapter 9, which is our floodplain ordinance, the city of Ames, we enforce 100-year on into floodway. So 500-year we do not enforce. So we don't have any particular consideration for that. Again, the future land use map does have a small greenway section out here. So that's just to reflect, again, as things develop, that this is intended to remain as greenway.
Thank you.
Ames Yard is not included in the rezone.
Ames Yard,
Union Pacific.
Union Pacific, no.
That's what it's called.
I just want to clarify, you're talking about the rail corridor, so the green strip. Is that what you're talking about right before that, right below the label there?
Yes.
Yeah.
That goes into Brilla and.
Yeah. So the Union,
And there's a.
so the Union Pacific property is not part of the rezoning. That is still agriculture.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Okay.
But the red is part of the rezone,
No.
Nope.
no, just
Uh,
shaded areas here.
Just the dark shaded area.
just the dark shaded.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this might give you a little
This is
better
a
perspective.
map. Just that the black hatched area are the areas being
Okay.
rezoned.
Are there any other questions from the commission? If not, then we'll open up the,
I have one more. I guess
okay.
just thinking about the future traffic patterns and such there, because this is going to be quite a lot of industrial that'll be considered during plating.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess, do you have a more specific question? Because I would say that I might have a different answer. So when you say plating, so we've evaluated the growth of this area as part of the Forward 45, which is our 5-year transportation plan, as well as in our comprehensive plan. We have this plan for millions of square feet of industrial and warehouse development. So we've analyzed that as part of Forward 45. We also understand DOT's interchange project that they're building on Teller and Highway 30 here in the next year or so. So we have a pretty good understanding what build out is like. There are no immediate improvement requirements expected out here. It's more of a, as the build out occurs and we see the development patterns, that's when we'll look at actual traffic improvements. What will be required is that with each site, there will be a site access assessment required. So if there's a widening related to access to a site, that is what would be done with each development that occurs. So whether they're subdivided or not, if it's just a site plan to develop a site versus a subdivision, we still have the same access control requirements and the same study requirements for access.
Okay.
So network improvements not expected, site access improvements will likely occur with all of these development sites.
Super helpful.
And as these things get developed, it'll come back before us again, won't it?
No.
No.
So in II, intensive industrial, other than a few that are special uses, which go to the zoning board of adjustment, it's all staff approvals within this zoning district.
Are there any other questions? Okay, at this time then I'd open it up for the audience. If anybody would like to speak in front of the commission or have questions, now would be a good time.
No.
Is there anybody?
The applicant first?
Oh, I'm sorry, applicant.
Yes.
Applicant, okay. I'm fairly new at this.
Well, you and me both. Mason Adams, key account manager for Alliant Energy, local representative. Obviously familiar with this. I've read through the report and certainly agree with the staff report and open it up to if there's any questions that you have for me. Is there any rhyme or reason as to why which parcels have been chosen for this application, I guess? So the parcels that you see represented and that are part of the rezoning application are properties that are owned by Alliance subsidiary Iowa Land and Building. The other parcels out there are not currently under ownership. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant?
I guess, do you intend to subdivide some of these parcels if this rezoning would go through?
Intent, hard to say at this point. It really just depends on the prospect requirements, how much land they would need. So at this point, it'd be difficult to say, but certainly could be a possibility.
Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now members of the audience, if you would like to speak, now would be the time to come forward.
I'm Pat Blair. I don't live in the city of Ames. We live in that little cutout right there, the stone's throw away from the proposed area on 580th, right before it becomes Teller. I think this is inevitable, but I wanted to say, as one of the residents that is impacted, I think there are 9 single-family houses along East Lincoln Way and Teller 580th, a couple of which are already owned by Iowa Land and Building, and another one of which was demolished by the DOT for the overpass project. For a town that has, going back to at least the 80s when I was visiting grandparents here, had a single family housing shortage, it's tough to see good farmland turned into intensive industrial space, particularly as someone who's purchased a property there and really enjoyed being on the outskirts of Ames, but being separated, having horses, having chickens, having space for my kids to run around and not worry about the large number of trucks going by on 580th and Teller. This is a pretty tough pill to swallow, particularly in terms of property value for the residents there. I can't imagine it's going to be a positive impact. Enjoyment of the properties that we had purchased previously, and also in terms of safety. 580th and Teller was closed for about a year for the construction of that lift station. And this fall, we took our kids up to East Lincoln Way to get on the bus. That was not a great thing to do at 7 a.m. And I can only anticipate with the addition of the overpass that it's going to get worse. It's a concern that weighs on me as a property owner. Ames, I know, prides itself on being a green community and environmentally friendly. And it's also tough to think about 600 or so acres of farmland right now becoming intensive industrial, and I'm assuming purchased by Alliant with the intent of using more power and generating revenue. That seems counter to what the city's trying to do. I guess I'd just ask you to reconsider that. Like I said, progress is inevitable, but as someone who will be greatly impacted by this and also can't vote for the city council, it's tough to see. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Is there anybody else that would like to speak? If not, I'll close the forum. Is there further discussion amongst the commission? Any more questions? The applicant, do you have any concluding remarks? Okay, staff? Okay, with that then.
Does anybody here have any comments?
I mean, what?
Anybody here have any comments or questions? Or
No. That's why I'm asking now. Does anybody have any comments
Oh.
or questions? Okay, if not, then I would entertain anybody making a motion.
Well, I'll go ahead. I'll move for recommend alternative one. The Planning and Zoning Commission can recommend that the city council approve the request to rezone the property located at 3700 5898 East Lincoln Way, 799 Teller Avenue, and 220 and 240 South Teller Avenue from A agricultural to II intensive industrial.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
One second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, the motion passes. Next item on the agenda is commission comments. On anything. Anybody have any comments? Any comments for staff?
I do not.
The only thing we have so far, the next one is this one we pushed back.
Nope. I think on the tentative, we
There's
have
another
3
one.
items listed.
Yep.
So
There's the one on Cedar Lane.
So for sure, the Cameron School Road, the subdivision, Ansley subdivision on Cedar Lane, and then potentially a text amendment related to home occupations are the tentative agenda.
Okay. Any other staff comments?
Nope.
Well, if there's no other business, then is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.